Dum da dum da dum. Dum da dum da dum. Where is Continental Speed? Where is it? There it is. Right. See if the stream is up and running. I think it's loading onto the channel as I speak. There it is there. So the stream's up. Oop. Hello Twitch Ed, how are you doing? Get that out of the way just so then I can see whether the audio is working appropriately. It's always good to check, because you never know sometimes. The audio is working as it should, that's good. So the stream's up, the chat's up, we're all good to go. Fantastic. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Long time no see. We've had a fairly lengthy break at the end of Season 8. I'm sure you'll agree. It's finally come to an end and we can begin Season 9. Welcome to the pre-season test for the AM1 Championship here on Contest of Speed. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event and hopefully for the whole season of the AM1 Championship. Now, for testing, we're going to have a short qualifying session, 18 minutes total. Then a 25% race here at, what you may have guessed, Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. After it's finished, we'll move back to the pre-race lobby, invert the finishing order from that race, and then have another 25% race, this time at Bahrain International Circuit. So then, give you a little bit of context of what's going on screen right now. But before we focus about what's happening on track, I'd like to talk about what is going to be happening in Season 9 and the drivers competing in this AM1 Championship. The race schedule, it's a 14 race championship. It's not a full calendar this time around. I'm sure quite a few drivers are glad about that. But it's 14 rounds spread over 15 weeks, with week 8 being a break/rerun that will allow us to do any events that we may have missed over the past 7 weeks. But the opening round is, rather coincidentally, at Bahrain International Circuit. Quite a nice racetrack, a nice place to have an opening round. Typically provides us with good racing, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Round 2, we shuffle away from the Middle East and we go to continental Europe for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at Baku City Circuit, always a dramatic place. Then we move over to Italy for the Italian Grand Prix at Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, and we stay in Italy for round 4 as well for the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, so an Italy doubleheader there. Then we go over to Portugal at what's it called? Autodromo Internacional do Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. That should be quite good as well. Then we move over the channel from continental Europe over to the UK for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Classic racetrack, classic race. Typically a good one, and that's round 6. Then we move back over to continental Europe to the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. Always a classic in terms of online league racing. Red Bull Ring is very well known for generating great racing. Then we have the break in week 8. Then after the break, we go over to Belgium to the legendary Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Always a legendary race, typically a good one as well. Usually generates quite a lot of drama. After Belgium, we move over to Hungary at the Hungaroring. Rather an underrated racetrack, in my own opinion. Hungaroring has always generated some pretty interesting racing. And then we hop over to France at Circuit Paul Ricard, the famous tarmac lake located in Le Castellet. And that will be our final round in Europe. There's 9 races in Europe. Quite a lot. But we finally move away from France all the way over to Southeast Asia for the Japanese Grand Prix at the legendary Suzuka Circuit, the only figure of 8 circuit on the calendar. Then we move from Asia all the way over to South America for the Brazilian Grand Prix at the equally legendary Interlagos Circuit. One of the best racetracks in the world, I'm sure you'll agree. It's my own personal favourite for commentary at the very least. As a driver, though, I've never had great luck at Interlagos. Then we move up towards Central America for the Mexican Grand Prix at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And then for the final round, round 14 of the championship, it's the United States Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas. So it's a fairly diverse calendar, 15 weeks, 14 rounds, 3 continents. Oh, it's Berzi almost loses it there at the exit of turn 12. No, it's a very healthy calendar. We got some notable absences, such as Spain, it's not on the calendar. Australia, my home country, is not on the calendar. Thank goodness, I'm not a fan of Albert Park. Monaco is another big absence. Canada, but no, very healthy calendar. I like how it looks. Now, just before we talk about the drivers competing in Season 9, I'd just like to refresh everybody's minds from what's happened last season in Season 8. We didn't end up running the Russian Grand Prix at the end of Season 8. We just called the season at the end of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at Yas Marina. And as a result, COS Barma, who is driving in the McLaren, well, he's entering the pits in the McLaren, he won the championship, claiming 328 points, 5 wins and 13 podiums that season, beating Preseason, who bowed out mid-season to go to the PC World. Preseason claiming 10 victories that season, easily the most dominant driver in terms of victories. But he ended up finishing 25 points behind Barma. Third place went to COS Cameron, who is no longer COS Cameron now, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, CRE_Cameron. Not sure what CRE stands for, I have no idea. But he finished third last season with 190... Oh, sorry, no, Andy Wu finished third last season. I just noticed that the points table is incorrectly sorted. So Andy Wu actually finished third with 194 points. Then Cameron with 191. KD was fifth on 188, then Arba on 174. So a very tight fight for third place in the Drivers' Championship. Rounding out the top 10, we had Nicholas Latifi, Aaron Carey, Kitten Petter, and Electric Blade. Into the Constructors, Mercedes won that, so they took both titles last season. They claimed 8 wins and 21 podium finishes, scoring a total of 520 points, beating Aston Martin, who had 488. McLaren were third on 276, followed by Alfa Romeo on 256, then Alfa Tauri on 218. Haas were next on 175, followed by Ferrari on 155, then Red Bull on 103, Alpine on 79, and Williams at the bottom of the table on 65. And that's pretty much all of Season 8 that I need to talk about. We can now focus on what's happening on track and what to look forward to in Season 9. We'll run through the drivers here today. We only have 13 out of the 20 drivers who are signed up, but you kind of expect this in pre-season testing. Not a lot of drivers are very keen to do it, but 13, it's not a bad attendance. We'll start off with our defending Drivers' Champion, COS Barma. As I mentioned earlier, he's in the McLaren for this season, so he's gone from the Black Arrows, or the Silver Arrows now, to the Papaya team at McLaren. He'll be teamed up with Elio at 24, who was absent for today's pre-season testing. Fairly solid team over at the orange outfit. Now, the Mercedes boys, neither of them are here. And it's a fairly strong team as well, JCK and Aaron Carey. JCK couldn't make it because apparently he's playing football as of right now. And apparently over in the US, they had a daylight savings time change, and that screwed everybody's clocks up just a little bit. So JCK wasn't able to attend tonight's pre-season. But that's okay. That Mercedes outfit actually looks pretty strong. Another strong-looking outfit is Red Bull. They've got CRE_Cameron and Nicholas Latifi, both very, very capable drivers. Both capable of winning races, both capable of potentially winning the Drivers' Championship. They'll be tough to beat in the Constructors' race. Who next? Who's the next complete team? I suppose Ferrari. Got Kitten Petter and Andy Wu. They were teammates last season over at McLaren. They're now driving in the Scarlet Red Ferraris. I have to say that Kitten Petter being in the big red, bright red car is rather fitting. Gives the drivers who is confronting Kitten Petter a nice big warning sign to avoid him at all costs, because that red definitely stands out. Got Express and Dream in the AlphaTauri cars. They're currently P8 and 9 during this qualifying session. We've got Bersey and JD in the Alfa Romeo cars for this season. We've got a few new names as well. Got No Cap here, an Israeli driver who's just gone fastest with a 16.3. He's in the Williams for this season. He's partnered up with Breezy, who was here last season, but he's currently not here for pre-season testing. We've also got Elite Game Boy, another new driver, or at least a new username that I haven't seen before, and he's teamed up with Pig Dog Payton, who is also quite a capable driver. So that team might be quite strong. It depends on how quick Elite Game Boy is. Got Mitch Burns in the Aston Martin. He's paired up with KD 1997. They're a pretty strong squad as well. I think KD will be joining us for the second race at Bahrain for pre-season testing. He's just unable to join us for this opening race at Spain. And I think finally we have Haas. We got Mitch791, and he'll be partnered up with Fatal_302. I think both drivers competed last season, both returning for season 9. And I think that's everything out of the way now. Let's talk about what's happening out on track. Currently, we got No Cap on pole position with a 1 minute 16.315, followed up by our defending Drivers' Champion, COS Barmer 22. He's set a time of 1 minute 16.465. Cameron is currently third with a 16.888. And then JD, Elite Boy, Mitch Burns. Then Mitch791, Kitten Petter, Express and Dream completes the top 10. Now, I imagine a few drivers might be trying to qualify on the soft compound tyre, a few drivers on the mediums as well. The delta between the soft and the medium tyre isn't incredibly great, if memory serves me right, here at Barcelona. I've seen a few drivers try and set pretty quick lap times on the medium tyre and be successful. Famously, I saw a pole position lap from Alpine. I think it might have been here in Contest of Speed, or it might have been another league, where he put the car on pole position on the medium compound tyre. It's a very Alpine thing to do because he's rapid over one lap, but it sort of shows you that the pace difference between the soft and the medium tyre isn't too much here at Spain. Mitch Burns here set off on a flying lap. Give you a bit of a tour of this Spanish racetrack. Around turn 1, there's Cosbama getting out of the way. Through turn 2, you have to be careful at turn 2. That inside curve is quite nasty at the best of times. Around turn 3, up towards the first sector split, heading into turn 4. Not a bad overtaking spot, especially if you get a good run through the opening 3 corners. Down the hill towards turn 5 on the brakes, second gear. Hits the apex nicely on the power, using a bit of the curve on the exit. Around turn 6 into turn 7 and 8. Quite a tricky complex here. Very easy to lose the back end of the car. Up the hill around turn 9, trying to carry as much speed as you can without losing the back end. Probably the most difficult corner on the racetrack. Into the big braking zone at turn 10, this non-existent hairpin. Hopefully this layout will be updated for 2022. Around 11 and 12, you have to be careful getting on the power here. The back can snap on you last second. Around turn 13 into the worst chicane in Formula 1, turns 14 and 15. Absolutely rubbish bit of track. And around the final corner, turn 16. And that is 1 lap. Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. 2.87 mile racetrack. Traditional home of pre-season testing. Now, oh, dearie me, as Barmer used all of the racetrack and then some at the exit of 16. Thank goodness he kept that car straight, otherwise he would have well and truly ended up in the barrier. Making his way through the opening chicane of turns 1, 2 and 3. Nice and steady on the accelerator, keeping it pinned around the right-hand sweeper of turn 3. Now heading up towards turn 4, and he's currently down by a tenth and a half in the first sector. Around the hairpin of turn 5, in third gear as well, not bothering to use second to try and get extra rotation, just keeping it in third. Through the chicane of 7 and 8, then up the hill towards turn 9. Keeping it nice and quick, nice and steady as well. There's Mitch Burns on an in-lap, as Bahma is up by 38 thousandths of a second in the middle sector. I'm also informed as well that Bahma has a new wheel. So it's a bit of a warning if he has a moment during the race to basically blame it on the new wheel with him adjusting to it. Well, he's certainly not mucking around, that's for sure. Trying to push himself to the limit, try and find where the grip is with his new wheel, get used to it. He's certainly looking pretty quick, but a bit taily a few parts of the racetrack. Hello, Mitch. Coming to a stop there, letting Cameron through. Drivers getting ready to set their final flying laps in this short qualifying session at Barcelona. It's still no cap on pole position, and he's getting ready to set what could be his final flying lap. Fortunately, at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, it's a relatively short lap, as I mentioned. It's 2.87 miles. The lap time itself, you can see there, it's about minute 16, minute 17 or so. So the out lap and the in lap here isn't particularly long. So if somebody makes a mistake, you should have enough time to try and set another flying lap. Around turn 3, keeping it pinned to the floor, bring it up into 7th gear. Nice and narrow on the exit as well. Very much an esports line, up by 25 thousandths of a second in the first sector. Down the hill, around the hairpin of turn 5, using second gear, short shifting to third. Then around the kink of turn 6, into the chicane, I suppose, of 7 and 8. Using a healthy amount of curve there, up the hill, around turn 9, as Mitch Burns retires in the pit lane. Up towards the middle sector split, the time, he's up by just over a tenth and a half in the middle sector. This is looking like a very, very competitive lap time through turn 11, then turn 12. Not bothering to use second gear, in fact short shifting up to 4th gear at the exit of turn 12. Through 13 into 14 and 15, second gear, gently on the throttle. A short shift there, just to find a bit more traction. Around the final corner, opens DRS, crosses the line, and does a 1 minute 16.243. Just improving by less than a tenth of a second. As Bahma has invalidated this lap, I think his session is done. Cameron sets off on a flying lap. He's on the soft rubber, I believe. Yes, he is actually. Everyone is on the soft tyre right now. Bersey is currently down to the first sector. He might have already just set a flying lap while I wasn't watching. He has dispensed quite a bit of battery, but it looks like he's still pushing. JD here, coming to the end of a flying lap, crosses the line, goes for fastest, improving by almost half a second. Pretty healthy improvement from the Colombian driver. 1 minute 16.934. As Bersey's down by 2 tenths, I think his qualifying's done. Kitten Petto improves to P6 as Elite Game Boy jumps up to P3 with a 16.7. Cameron is currently purple to the middle sector. He's up by half a second, and he's invalidated at the hairpin of turn 10. Quite easy to do, that's for sure. Just using a little bit too much curb at the exit of that hairpin. There's so much exit curb at so many corners here, it sort of invites you to try and make the corners as wide as possible. But if you just go over that limit a bit too far, it's a very easy way to get an invalidation. Now, I think they'll be qualifying over. Everyone else is finished or in the pit lane. So we'll wait until everyone's done. Moving back into the pits, and we can Move on to the short 25% race. Do not ready up after the first race. It's a pretty obvious message, but sometimes you need to put out obvious messages. That was just Andy Wu in the Discord. Make sure they don't ready up after the first race, because of course they have to set a custom grid, invert the field, and also select Bahrain as well. Right here, right now, we got No Cap on pole position, followed by Bama 22 in P2. He is 0.222 seconds behind No Cap. Ah, what a lovely coincidence. We got Elite Game Boy P3, Cameron P4 on the medium tyre, JD TV8 in P5, followed by Kit and Peta P6, Burzy in 7th, Mitch Burns in 8th, Andy in 9th, and Mitch 791 rounds out the top 10, and he said that time on the medium tyre as well. Express P11, Dream P12, and Nicholas Latifi will start from the back in P13. And we haven't got a timer yet. That's great to see. Hopefully this isn't frozen or anything. It just might be. Oh, please don't be frozen. Oh, there we are. There's a timer. Why did that take forever? Oh, for goodness sake. I love this game. I do. I love this game. Great game. Awesome game. See what's going on in the Discord just briefly. Not much. There's a bit of chatter going on. Rightio. Can move on to the race now. Hopefully we have a little entertaining race. That would be nice. But it is Barcelona. It's known as boring Barcelona in real life. Because this track has a awful reputation of making some fairly average racing. There's very few memorable races here at Barcelona. There's some pretty cool historical moments here at this circuit. Got the famous wet weather drive Michael Schumacher put on in 1996 when he took his first victory for Ferrari. You also have, of course, 2012 when Pastor Maldonado took his only win and podium in his Formula One career, and it remains today the last victory for Williams in Formula One. You also have that famous collision between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. That resulted in Max Verstappen taking his first victory in Formula One when he made his debut for the Red Bull Racing outfit. So plenty of historical moments, but in terms of the racing quality, it's average at best. I'm still waiting. This isn't a good omen, I have to say. This is not a good omen at all. There's the timer. Good, good. So nothing's broken yet. So session counter counting down, and we can get the race underway. It's only a 25% race as well, so I think it will only be about 17 laps or so, I want to guess. Let's see. Yep, I guess right. Rightio. So tyre wear won't be an issue for the drivers for this race. Basically, it's going to be a very simple soft medium. Pit window probably lap 6 for the soft runners, lap 8 or so for the medium runners. I imagine you could stretch the soft tyre out quite a fair distance, so we'll wait and see. But got no cap here, starting on the soft compound tyre on pole position, followed by Bummer 22, also on the soft tyre. Lead Game Boy P3 on the soft rubber. Then Cameron on the mediums. JD on the soft, same with Kitten Petter and Burzy. Mitch Burns starting on the soft rubber. Same with Andy Wu. Mitch starting on the mediums. Same with Express and his teammate Dream, and Nicholas Latifi also starting on the medium compound tyres. So we've got 5 cars on the mediums, 2 of which are on worn tyres from qualifying. The rest of the field starting on the soft tyre. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. So lap 7 through 9 to get off the soft tyre onto the mediums. So you can flip that around. Lap 9 to 10 to get off the mediums onto the soft tyre. Hopefully these fellas can put on a bit of a show. Maybe we can learn something for this new season. No cap. Making his way back onto the grid. He'll be lining up on the racing line, I believe. So on the left-hand side of the circuit. Means he should get the better start because he's on the cleaner side of the racetrack. But if he doesn't, Barmer has the inside line down towards turn 1. So Barmer can get that start spot on. He could be leading the field after turn 1. Here we go, we're ready to race. Got 10 red lights. And we're underway for race 1. And Barmer's got a half-decent start. As Cameron goes into the wall just after the start. He loses a ton of places. Here we go into turn 1. Cap around the outside, Barmer on the inside. They're side-by-side through turn 2. Heading around turn 3, it's Barmer who takes the lead. Game Boy hangs on to 3rd place. We've got yellow flags about. It's Mitch, who's made a mistake at turn 2. Barmer still leading the way, exiting turn 4. So Tim from No Cap, Game Boy in P3, JD in 4th, Kitten Petter in 5th, Andy and Mitch battling side by side as KD has joined the session. Heading into turn 7 and 8. Cameron's trying to get by Mitch here, and he's successful. He's into P8. Oh, he's trying to go down the inside of Andy Wu as well. They're side by side heading down towards the hairpin of turn 10. Andy has the inside line. They're side by side around the tight left-hander. There's a bit of contact on the exit through 11 into 12. Cameron claims P7. Andy Wu has to accept P8 for now. So a bit of drama on the opening lap. Oh, as Andy lets the back end of his Ferrari step out and going through the chicane. Dream and Express change places here. Dream is up into P11. Now Mitch here. He didn't get any damage from his incident in the opening sector. So he hasn't gone into the pits and gotten his wing fix. Doesn't need to do that. But he's got a lot of catching up to do. Barmer starting to pull away a little bit. The gap is 8 tenths between him and No Cap. Game Boy a further second behind. It's JD. Kitten Petter. It's tight here between Burzy and Cameron as Cameron's trying to get past the Alfa Romeo. Around turn 6 into 7 and 8. And Cameron gets through into P6. His next target will be Kitten Petter in the Ferrari. Closing in on this straight away as Express gets a 3-second time penalty. Around the hairpin of turn 10 into the kink of 11. Then into the sweeper of 12, the gap shrinks to 3 tenths between him and Kitten Petter. Down the hill into the chicane, 14 and 15. Nice and tidy there from both drivers. We begin lap 3. DRS is now enabled. Spice things up here in the midfield where we've got this train of cars forming. Down towards turn 1. No one's quite in a position to try and overtake. We'll have to wait just a little bit. Try and see some action. Cameron closing in. He's not close enough to try and send it. Oh, dearie me. As we go into the hairpin of turn 5, the gap is 3/10. Oh, as Kitten Petter has a bit of a moment, Cameron draws alongside and goes down the inside of Petter at turn 7, moving himself into P5. And the back straight away towards turn 10. Petter using DRS, but the straight isn't quite long enough for him to try and send it into the hairpin. Now Cameron's next target will be JD, the other Alfa Romeo. Gap is 6:10, so he should get DRS. And JD actually ducks into the pit lane, an early stop. He might have front wing damage. We'll wait and see in a few moments. Here comes Bursey, JD's teammate. Down the inside, fairly easy move there for Bursey. Into P5 he goes. No, this is just a strategic stop from JD, pitting quite early onto the medium tyre. Thought he might have had damage, which is why he's pitted in so early. I was wrong. Nicholas drawing alongside Mitch, heading towards the hairpin of turn 5. Mitch gets the nose in front, but Nicholas is hanging round the outside, and he takes P8 away from the Aston Martin driver. And he's now behind his teammate. Coming around turn 9, I think he clipped the grass a little bit at the entry there. You could see the car didn't really want to turn in for turn 9. Sort of missing the apex by about a foot or so. Through the sweeper of turn 12. Bursey at the front of the train, and he's got a bit of a margin to Kitten Petter. Oh, speaking of margins, Game Boy and Cameron are awfully close as Game Boy goes into the pit lane. No Cap is in as well from second place, so Cameron moves himself into P2 and sets fastest lap in the process. Nicholas closing in on Andy, not by enough though to try and challenge the Ferrari at turn 1. Set of medium tyres for both Game Boy and No Cap. They rejoin in P11 and 12. The Barmer out in front with a 3.4 second lead. Cameron with a relatively clear track in front of him has the task of closing the gap. Bursey's P3 followed by Kitten Petter and Andy Wu. Nicholas Latifi hovering behind in P6. And there's Mitch Burns at the back of the train in P7. So we've got a 5-car train here from P4 to P7. Then we got the two AlphaTauris of Dream and Express. The latter has a time penalty next to their name already. 3 seconds, I believe. I'll double check that. I'm pretty certain it's 3 seconds. It is. Heading towards the kink of turn 13. You have to be careful of that inside curve at turn 13. It's rather tall as race leader Barmer is into the pit lane. And we have a spin. It's Mitch. It's the second spin he's had in this race. He's on the AstroTurf trying to find a safe place to rejoin. Knowing the game will probably give him a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Ah, God, I love this game. Kitten Petter getting by Bursey. Bursey tries to do the switchback at turn 2. They can't get it done. Bursey stays behind in P3. Meanwhile, Barmer and Andy, they have pitted on for a set of medium compound tyres. And Barmer is in front of No Cap, so the undercar doesn't really work as Mitch retires in the pit lane. So, even in pre-season testing, we have voluntary retirements, so. Exiting turn 8 up the hill towards turn 9. Gap is 3/10 between Nicholas and Bursey. Nicholas looking left and right, but can't make any sort of move just yet. The AI of Mitch 791 drives back out onto the racetrack because, of course, it still doesn't despawn in the pit lane. Through the chicane, towards the final turn, Petter and Bursey are in. Nicholas stays out, obviously. He's on the medium tyre. He started on the medium tyre. He's now got a clear track in front of him. It's now a Red Bull 1-2. Express takes P3. AlphaTauri take P3 and 4. It's currently a Red Bull 1-2-3-4. Pretty cool. Let's see here. Mitch Burns. He's pitted onto the hard tyre. Why have you done that? He pitted onto the hard tyre. JD going slowly through the opening 2 corners. Oh, and there's Elite Game Boy as well. Ghosting's turned off, I'm pretty sure. That could have been incredibly nasty. You could have had quite the accident there. I'll double check. Just a few moments. Spursy overtakes his teammate for P9. I'll just double check. Pretty sure ghosting's turned off for this. Rules and flags, is it? No. Simulation settings. Ghosting's off. Yeah, I thought it was off, so... Yeah, that could have been quite a nasty accident if Game Boy hit anyone when rejoining at that moment. Dream using a bit of DRS from his teammate. Barmer sets fastest lap, showing the pace of those fresh tyres. No Cap is still within 1 second. Using up that DRS to try and close the gap and keep the fight alive. Sector 1 yellow flags. That's the AlphaTauri, and that's a reset to track from Dream. So, as JD overtakes his teammate Bursy at turn 1. Bursy, can he strike back here at 4? The answer is no. He can't. Towards turn 5, he gets awfully close. You can make moves at turn 5. You have to well and truly send it. You have to get a pretty good run out of turn 4 as well, as JD and Andy get 3-second time penalties. Not too many battles going on at the moment, as you kind of expect. Got yellow flags. It's now the other AlphaTauri of Dream. Actually, no, sorry. It's the same AlphaTauri. Express still in P3. So Dream just making 2 mistakes on the same lap. Speaking of AlphaTauri, Express has been overtaken by Barber. So Barber moves himself into P3. And Bursy has overtaken his teammate with the power of DRS. Moves himself back into P8. Yeah, not much else going on at the moment. You do kind of expect that. No Cap. He has to try and find a way around Express now. He'll get DRS, which will help him out a little bit. Close the gap, but he won't be close enough to try and send it here at turn 10. But if he can get the run through this final sector, he might be able to try and pass into turn 1. Meanwhile, Cameron and Latifi, they're still out on track. They haven't boxed yet for the soft tyre. Still waiting for them to pit. Express does... Oh, he runs wide is what he does. Oh, and No Cap rather wisely backs out from going down the inside at the final corner. Going side by side through there can be quite nasty as Andy goes into the pits. He must have damage. It's the only reason why you would pit. He's on 3-lap-old mediums. They're still fresh. So he must have wing damage. No! He's just pitting for soft rubber. Oh, pit lane. Yeah. Right. That's still a thing. Okay. Suppose why not? There's no prizes for a result here, so might as well do something different. Meanwhile, these two are still having at it. It's just behind in P9 on those hard tyres. Actually doing pretty well as Cameron finally goes into the pit lane. And not close enough to attack here at the hairpin. Set of soft tyres going on his car. Nicholas takes the lead. Now where does Barmer come out relative to Cameron? Oh, he's well in front of Cameron. Look at that. Cameron will come out behind No Cap, but in front of Express. That is provisional P3. But he's on those fresh, soft tyres. They're going to be incredibly quick. I'm not sure if No Cap can hold him off. He'll be that fast. Express just behind in P5. He's yet to stop. Around turn 5. Down the hill towards turn 6. Then the chicane of 7 and 8. The gap shrinks to 4/10. Look at the grip that he's got up the hill around turn 9. Opens DRS. Doesn't bother to use any overtake just yet. You can see No Cap. He's got that flashing light at the back of the car. Means he's low on battery. So he doesn't have a lot of resources to try and help him out. Cameron's so much quicker through this final sector. As Elite Game Boy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And here we go. Simple passes. Nicholas is in the pit lane as well. Cameron moves himself into P2. Now he's got a target to chase. And that is Barmer. The gap is 3.4 seconds. We've got 6 laps to go. Can he close that gap with the amount of laps remaining? Now, those soft tyres won't feel particularly amazing towards the end of the race. Soft tyre does burn up fairly quickly here at Barcelona, regardless of what type of race you do. Look at that gap shrink, 2.8 seconds. Around turn 9, it shrinks even more. There's Barmer. Here comes Cameron and No Cap. Round the hairpin of turn 10. Towards the kink of 11. And through the sweeper of 12. Gap shrinks to 2.6. Meanwhile, Burns and JD awfully close together on track. Burns would like to get by, but JD, he's staying just within that 1 second range. As JD makes a mistake at turn 11. Just awkwardly riding over that inside curb, losing control of the car, but he managed to gather it back up as Nicholas gets another 3-second time penalty. No, he's first. 3-second time penalty. Mitch losing time. Let's try and close that gap. And he will with the power of DRS as Express gets a time penalty as well, increasing his tally to 6 seconds. JD's going to be under a fair bit of pressure here in a few moments. Those medium tyres steadily wearing out more and more. Yeah, Cameron isn't closing in too much anymore. The gap is at 2.6. At this time last lap it was about 2.8. So he's only closed in by about 3/10. 2 or 3/10 of a second. You'll find... Oh! I was going to say he would find time through this final sector, but that tiny mistake would have cost him maybe a 10th. Just losing the back end at turn 10 as Andy gets a 3-second time penalty, and that increases his tally to 6 seconds. Actually, speaking of which, he might be going on an assault here down the inside of Express. Express tries to get the over-under done, and he's successful because Andy has really misjudged turn 10. He went in deep. Too deep, in fact. Down the hill. Around 14 and 15. The shocking chicane. And around the final corner. Mitch Burns has overtaken JD finally as well. And here comes Andy with the power of DRS. Doesn't have a lot of battery power himself. You can tell from the red light flashing. Down the inside of turn 1 and takes P10 away from Express. JD, can he keep this fight alive between himself and Mitch? Gap is 6/10 and it's increasing just a little bit every so often. He'll need DRS to help him out quite a bit here. Cameron now 2 seconds behind. He's still closing. Not at a massive rate of knots, but he is closing. There's Barner, the race leader. Then Cameron. The gap 2.1 seconds. We've now got 3 laps to go. And there's no cap in P3. It's a fairly big gap to Latifi in 4th. Kittenpeta P5, followed by Bursey, then Mitch. JD still within 1 second of the Aston Martin driver, so you get a helping hand with DRS. Try and close that gap. Look at it shrink down to 3/10 or 2.5 as Bursey gets a 3-second time penalty. Round turn 3, up towards turn 4. Gap's hovering at about 6/10. Cameron, 1.7 seconds behind now. He's still closing, but he's running out of time. Oh, riding over that inside curve at turn 12. Bit dangerous, and it's lost him time. Just a few tenths. Into the chicane. Around the final corner. The gap has shrunk to 1.6. Make that 1.5. We've got 2 laps to go. See that flashing red light, low on battery. It's got 4% left. You've gained a bit back in the braking zone. He's quite low on battery. Compare that to Barman, who's got a monumental 40-odd%. In terms of battery life, he can dispense all that battery he's got on the final lap to make sure he keeps Cameron at bay. Coming through the chicane of 7 and 8. It's a lovely aerial shot here. Looking at the geography of the racetrack. As Express gets a time penalty, another 3 seconds. Next to his name, increasing his total to 9. Up towards turn 13, the gap still at about 1.6. Through the chicane of 14 and 15. Around the final corner of 16, the leaders will begin the final lap. Lap 17 of 17 here at Barcelona. Been a big effort from Cameron to close that gap, but unfortunately there wasn't enough time left in the race to catch up completely. All that Barman needs to do is keep the car within the white lines, and he'll secure the win. Not too many other battles going on at the moment, as Express one's wide there at 15. JD, he's still there with Mitch, but I don't think he'll be close enough to do anything on this final lap. Oh, hello. As Andy and Express are battling for position, Express runs wide. There goes Andy Wu, sweeping round the outside of turn 3 to take P10. Only 1 sector left for Barmer. Up towards turn 13, yellow flags are about. I think that's Andy going slowly. There goes Express. Oh, he's run out of fuel. That's what he's done. He's run out of fuel. As Cameron gets a time penalty, Barmer will cross the line to take race 1 in this pre-season test for the AM1 Championship. Cameron will take P2, then no cap P3. That's the top 3 for this opening race here at Spain. Then Nicholas Latifi P4, Kitampeta P5, Bersey P6. He'll stay in P6 as well by 0.2 of a second. Mitch Burns will finish in 7th. JD in 8th. Elite Game Boy in 9th. Then Express will complete the top 10. You can see there that solid red fuel icon with Andy completely out of fuel. So I'm obviously underfueling his car a little bit. And there goes Dream to take P11. Make that P10 thanks to penalties. Nicholas, given driver of the day. First podium celebrations. Why not? Farmer taking the winner will mean he'll start, I think, from last place. I think. We are reversing the order. So suppose we'll find out in a few moments. Here we are. Final results for race 1. Barmer with the win, followed by Cameron, No Cap, Nicholas Latifi. After starting from 13th, finishing 4th. That's why he's been given driver of the day. Then Kitampeta, Bersey, Mitch Burns, JD, Elite Game Boy, Dream, Andy Wu, Express, then Mitch. Yeah. There we are. Alrighty, back to the pre-race lobby, I suppose. Now we can wait for the race at Bahrain. Oh yeah. Oh, it's already set. Good. Well, nobody ready up. That was the order, because they have to set a custom grid. I suppose it won't stop people from trying to ready up. You were fighting a cat the entire time during that first stint. You know, I've never had that experience. I do have a cat, and he is rather annoying, Petter. But, yeah, no, I'm fortunate enough that my cat tends to leave me alone when I'm racing. But I imagine that could be quite annoying. Oh, and that's actually the first comment I've seen. I've noticed that people have been commenting, but for some reason Twitch isn't allowing me to see some of the comments. That's the first comment I've seen all stream. A bit weird. Anyway, it's alright. And it seems that we have custom weather as well for this race at Bahrain. I mean, they should have it on dynamic. You never know, it might rain. It might. That'll be the day, actually, if we see a wet weather race at Bahrain. I want to be there. Yeah, I'm hazarding a guess, KD, you will be starting from the back. Probably. I don't know. I'm guessing. Oh, that's kind of adorable, Kiss and Tessa. Going underneath the controller. It just wants attention. That's all it wants. Yeah. All the kitty wants is some attention. Rightio, I guess we're getting this second race underway. Oh, dearie me. Oh, I have to sit up now. Recline too far back in my chair, I have to sit up. Rightio, Bahrain International Circuit. Very different racetrack compared to Barcelona. Not just for the obvious reasons, but generally this is a better racetrack. Long straights, big braking zones. Well respected racetrack as well. Probably more pad favoured. Definitely ABS favoured. That's quite a traditional thing in the F1 games. ABS is fairly powerful here at Bahrain, but I think ABS might be turned off. I don't know. But yeah, generally it's a pretty good racetrack for racing. So it's quite a nice opening round for our championship. Should provide us with a fairly entertaining race. It still has its hazards though. You got the tricky 910 complex, which turns into a bit of a painful section when you got ABS turned off. And you also have turn 12, a fast uphill right-handed sweep up that has this notorious inside curb where if you run over it, it's basically a guaranteed spin. You have to be a bit careful at turn 2 as well. Same with the S section in the middle sector with 5, 6, 7. That's also a bit of a tricky place at times. So you do have little hazards here and there and big hazards. But generally it's a well-liked racetrack. Formation lap time. I can introduce 2 more drivers because they have joined. And they're starting from the very back. We have got Electric Blade. He is the teammate to Mitch 791, who isn't racing in this second race, which is a bit disappointing, but oh well. And we got KD 1997, the teammate to Mitch Burns. I mentioned earlier that Aston Martin outfit, I reckon, is going to be a pretty solid one. Mitch and KD, both very capable drivers. So I'll be keeping an eye on them for the Constructors' Championship. We'll run through the order entirely. So we got Express on pole position with Andy Wu alongside. They're both starting on the soft compound tyre. Then we got Dream P3 starting on the soft tyre. Same with Elite Game Boy in P4. On row 3 we have JD TV8 and Mitch Burns. On row 4 we've got Burzy and Kitten Petter. On row 5 we've got Nicholas Latifi and No Cap, both of them starting on the medium compound tyre. Outside the top 10 we have Cameron and Barber. They're both starting on the soft tyre. Electric Blade, then KD 1997. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. So pit window lap 7 to 10. So basically the halfway mark. Easy to remember. No, 14 cars for 14 laps here at Bahrain International Circuit. Not bad. Express going back up into his grid slot. He's on the outside, similarly to Spain. So he's on the grippier side of the racetrack, but Andy has the inside line for turn 1. So if Andy gets a better start, there's a real chance he could lead the field out of turn 1. Everyone's ready to race. We got 10 red lights. And race 2 is underway. Express gets a pretty good start. A lot of wheel spin. Oh, and into the wall goes Burzy. He is out of the race instantly. Very similar to Cameron from his race start in Spain. And we have a virtual safety car straight away. Well, it's lights out and away we crash here at Bahrain as KD's got a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Kitten Petter. We got drivers shuffling under this virtual safety car, trying to get themselves sorted out. No, that's probably not what Bersey wanted on that race start, I would guess. Just hazard a small guess. And with KD, that 5-second time penalty, he will have to serve that, of course. What are you two up to, changing places and whatnot? Stop doing that. Alright, when are we going back on the green flag running? Come on, game. Stop mucking around. Let's go. We've been under VSC for about a minute and a half. Let's go. Oh, goodness. Why is this taking so long? There we go. We're back on the green flag racing. After an eternity of waiting, Andy Wu takes the lead. Oh, and Dream goes into the back of his teammate there. And Dream runs wide. And there goes Game Boy and Cameron and JD. And into the pits goes Dream. So he probably got damage. Oh, and a 5-second time penalty to boot. As Express overtakes Andy Wu. Getting down into turn 1. While we're still on this camera game. God, you're worthless. As Elite overtakes Cameron. Cameron's going to try and get him back. He's got good drive after turn 3. He's got a nose alongside heading into 4. Meanwhile, Andy Wu's trying to fight down the inside and gets the lead. Cameron moves himself into P3. JD just behind as well in P5, getting ready to battle. So it's Andy Wu from Express from a very wide Cameron there at the exit of turn 7. Looking down the inside is JD at turn 8, but he can't get it done on Game Boy. He hangs on to P4. Around turns 9 and 10, you can see that carpet of rubber already being laid down at turns 9 and 10 with drivers locking up into the apex. Express closing in, not by enough though to try and attack Andy here at turn 11. Climbing up the hill towards the notorious turn 12, you have to avoid that inside curb as if it were the plague. Around turn 13 and onto this long-ish straightaway towards turn 14. And 15, yes, this final part of the circuit is 2 corners. I'll show them to you. So this is 14. This little insignificant kink, that's 15 on the official track map. Don't ask me why, it just is. Cameron sets fastest lap. That's beaten by Barmer in P7. He's down towards turn 1. Express isn't close enough to dive bomb. Oh, Barmer is though. He tries to draw alongside Mitch. But he's unsuccessful. A small tap there at the apex of turn 2. Barmer sitting in the slipstream, using up DRS. He pulls alongside and he goes... Oh, and a collision! My goodness! Oh, my dearie me! A big accident at turn 4 involving the 2 Red Bulls, Mitch Burns, and I believe one other driver. Maybe it was No Cap? No Cap. How's your front wing? Oh, look, he's got damage on the left-hand side. Oh, Mitch, a completely destroyed front wing. So one of the Red Bulls having a moment, and it's caused the concertina effect at turn 4. Basically everyone in the lower half of the field getting involved in this accident. And it resulted in the retirement of Nicholas Latifi. Oh, as the drivers check up there. That's because of the damage some of them have sustained. They're travelling awfully slowly as Dream gets a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car. You have to be very, very mindful of the time delta. Got to keep an eye on it constantly. Got drivers into the pits. They'll take advantage of this and probably pit onto the medium tyre. Other drivers are forced to come in to get their front wings fixed. Got a set of medium tyres ready there. On they go. And away he leaves. Mitch waiting, double stacking behind his teammate KD, who also had a front wing change, I believe. Dream a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane as well. Kitapeta comes into the pits to put on another set of medium compound tyres. So a bit of drama here in Bahrain. And there's the safety car. Electric Blade at the front of the field. He's on 3-lap-old mediums. And he's just spun himself out. And he's not moving. He's going to get himself disqualified if he's not careful. Oh, there he goes, he's got himself moving. Well, that was a thing. That was definitely a thing that happened. So everyone's pitted onto the medium tyre, except for No Cap and Electric Blade. Blade is on old tyres, No Cap's on the soft tyre. He's probably going to pit on back onto the mediums, I would think. He's going to do 1 lap on the soft tyre, then go back in, put on the mediums, and go to the end. I reckon that might be his game plan. Because those soft tyres won't make it from here. Oh, maybe they might. No, he's not going back in. He's actually going to try and stay out. Credit to him. Maybe those soft tyres can last long enough. Mitch is back in. Soft tyres at the ready. So obviously these soft tyres must last fairly lengthy amount of time here at Bahrain. Alright, fair enough. Once Mitch catches up, we should be back under green flag running. We can finally resume racing. There's the position changes, so Andy up 1, Express down 1, Game Boy up 1, JD up 1, Barmer up 7, the most out of anybody. Cameron up 5, No Cap up 3, KD up 6, Electric Blade up 4, Petter up 2, Dream up 8, Dream down 8, I should say, and Mitch Burns down 6. And into the wall goes Game Boy, doing the exact same mistake as Electric Blade, but to a much worse effect because he's completely destroyed his front wing. And this is going to hurt Game Boy quite a bit because we're going back on the green flag running at the end of this lap, so there's no additional lap to save him, which would suck. Well, I think the safety car is going to come in this lap. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty certain it will. Yep. Game Boy, the exact same mistake as Electric Blade. Exact same. Safety car's in this lap. Everyone behind Game Boy, you better be on top of your game because he's going to be going awfully slowly. Oh, Andy's trying to back the field up quite a bit here. Yeah, he's not going to be quick on those. Sorry, with that damage. See Barman trying to draw alongside as best he can. As Andy spins out on the restart. My goodness. Careful, drivers. They're not ghosting. As Game Boy goes into the pits, JD's going to try and go for the lead. Down the inside at turn 1. Can't get it done. Express maintains first place. Cameron, Barmer, side by side. Barmer gets in front. Electric Blade gets a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Cameron's lost time. No Cap. He's on the soft tyre. He wants to be nice and aggressive here. Nice aerial shot going on here at turn 4. This would have been the perfect camera angle for what happened at turn 4 that caused the safety car to come out. Looking down the inside into turn 8. Cameron keeps it on the outside. Oh, maybe a bit of contact there. Hard to tell from this angle. Around turn 9 towards the hairpin of 10. No Cap still behind. KD in P6 followed by Kit and Petter. Then it's a bit of a gap to Electric Blade. Then Andy Wu and Mitch Burns completes the top 10. Mitch working away. As JD gets by Express, who's going slowly. He's made some sort of mistake. He's avoiding the gravel trap. Done a pretty good job of that. He's still got a front wing and he's got a 10-second time penalty because this game is so freaking stupid. Exiting turns 14 and 15. And he's got a run on Blade as Express goes into the pit lane and cops a 5-second penalty for speeding and retires. And he, tight there at the entry to turn 1 as Mick's trying to go around the outside of Blade. He can't get it done there, but he has the inside line for 2 and he still can't get it done. He's not quite close enough to attack into turn 4 either. And Game Boy sort of by himself at the moment, poor fella. But he's still in the race, that's the main thing. Round the hairpin of turn 8, Barber gets awfully close to JD. Up the hill, over the crest, around turn 9, and into turn 10. Barber, he's got half a second between him, make that 7/10 between him and Cameron, so he doesn't have to worry about the car behind so much. He can just fully focus on JD, try and get by. Around turn 13. Can't quite put the power down on corner exit Barber. He's lost time. There's Cameron lurking in P3. Around the penultimate corner. Then the final insignificant corner. And down the main straight we go. Using up a bit of battery. DRS is now enabled. Cameron, he's close, but he hasn't got enough straight line speed to challenge Barber into turn 1, but he is awfully close to him at the apex of 1. Obviously quite confident under brakes. Now Barber will get DRS to try and close in on JD, but obviously he's not close enough to attack here into turn 4. Dream coming out of the pits now. P10. That is probably him serving his drive-through. I'm pretty certain he was the one who got the drive-through during that safety car period. Look at this pack of cars. From P1 all the way down to P8, they're all in a train. Heading around turn 11, up the hill towards 12. Barber, he'll be searching for an opportunity on lap 9 at turn 1 to try and get by JD. Will JD try and play any games? Will he try and let Barber by here? The answer is no. He's going to maintain the lead. Sometimes you'll see drivers try and play some games as JD pulls off to the side big time, try and break the toe. Here comes Barber and Cameron. Cameron, will he go for the move here at 1? Oh, dearie me. JD still trying to fight, trying to keep the lead as Electric Blade retires in the pit lane. Here we go, down the straightaway towards turn 4. Barber, JD side by side. Cameron trying to get in the fight as well around the long way. Oh, and a spin! Oh, dearie me, more drama as No Cap's involved as well. But Cameron and JD spun together at turn 4. It was just really unfortunate that No Cap got involved in that too. So now the pack disperses a little bit. Well, the flags are still about. That's Electric Blade's car coming back onto the racetrack as Elite Game Boy gets a penalty. So does KD. KD running very, very wide as Mitch Burns gets by his teammate into P3. Dream gets a 3-second time penalty. Cameron, JD. Go! He's pushed him off the racetrack there at the entry to turn 11. Bit of argy-bargy stuff going on there. Sure, he's not too pleased about it. No cap, trying to get by JD here. Using up a bit of battery, closing the gap. Down the inside into turn 14. He keeps it there, JD. Keeps the fight alive. Now slots in behind the Williams. Both cars have DRS on Cameron here. He's a bit of a sitting duck without DRS. And here comes No Cap. Not close enough to attack. Hello, JD. You're awfully close. Through turn 2. Around turn 3. Opens DRS. And here comes No Cap. Around the outside here at turn 4. Cameron tries to keep that inside line alive. He keeps alongside No Cap at the exit of turn 4. Into the S section we go. They're still side by side. Oh, what a save from Cameron there. Car was completely sideways at turn 6. Just put on the right amount of counter steer. Straighten the car up and maintains P7. Good bit of driving. Around the hairpin of turn 10. Cameron and JD will get DRS now. Kettenpata trying to battle KD here for 4th place. Oh, it's tight at the entry to turn 12. Kettenpata still working away. Now down this long straightaway. Peta not bothering to use any battery just yet. KD, he'll be a sitting duck. Heading on to the main straight. No DRS. The Aston Martin driver. Kettenpata, he's got all the speed in the world and KD can do nothing. No Cap, meanwhile, has set a new fastest lap at 29.5. Yeah, you're not wrong, Electric Blade. I could take a guess of what that censored word is, and I'm pretty certain I know what it is. Yeah, the game, it'll just do that. It just will. It's just something we as a community have to accept, that the game will dish out stupid penalties because it's not a human, it's a robot. Yeah. There's no common sense with a robot. It sees something, it detects something, so it dishes that out. It's just the unfortunate nature of this. No, I feel you. Fortunately, though, it's just a pre-season test, so we have the actual races next week. But hopefully everything will run a bit smoother and we won't have as much drama, I suppose. We can have some more racing, that'll be nice. But, yeah, that drama at turn 4, hopefully we won't have that. 3 laps to go at Bahrain. Can finally wrap up this test session. JD looking around the outside of Cameron. The two make contact at turn 1. They've been biffing and barging a little bit here. They're not playing nice with each other. And here comes JD. He's not using any DRS. Looking around the long way here at turn 4. Can he get the switch back? He's going to try. He's got a nose alongside Cameron and he rather wisely backs out. I don't think he had enough car alongside for Cameron to justifiably give room there. So probably a wise thing from JD just to back out. Yeah, no, those are the worst ones when you get an illegal overtake and the car that you illegally overtook is 2 or 3 cars behind or in front of you. It's just dumb. Oh, hello, Cameron has had a moment at 12. I wonder if these two came together. I don't know. Maybe Cameron did it all by himself. Maybe. I don't know, but just by judging how those two have been playing with each other. I reckon the two made contact and Cameron got the short end of the stick as Andy Wu takes the lead 2 laps to go. Barmer's trying to try and fight back here. As Cameron goes into the pits and retires promptly. Opens DRS, and here comes Barmer down the inside. And he's going to try and fight the long way round, though. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Barmer. Oh, a bit of contact as well. And Barmer with the inside line takes the lead back. Good stuff. It's not over for Andy. It's anything but over, especially with Barmer doing that. Really running wide there at the exit of turn 8 through 9 into 10. Bit of locking up. Andy missing the apex a little bit. Bit of wiggle as well. Ferrari not behaving itself through that complex, but he's gained time, and he's gaining even more time with the help of DRS. Up the hill. Around 11. Around 12. The gap is 2.5 tenths of a second. Will Barmer play games? Will he back off to try and let Andy take the lead before the DRS detection zone? Or will he maintain it? He's going to stay in front as Dream and Elite Game Boy change places for P8 and 9. Barmer's got a 4/10 margin, but he's going to be a sitting duck. Here comes Andy. DRS wide open, not bothering to use any battery. He draws alongside and passes Barmer down the inside at turn 1. Contact between the two as Andy parks a Ferrari on the apex there. Can Barmer fight back? He's got battery, he's got DRS. He's a bit far behind. Will he send it here? The answer is no. He's going to wait. Around turn 4, heading towards the S section. Into turns 5, 6, and then 7. Gap is 2/10. Will he send it here? Perhaps. The answer is still no. As Elite Game Boy re-overtakes Dream around the outside. Probably with a bit of help from DRS as well. Oh, a big wiggle there from Dream too. Oh, it's Barmer. Big send down the inside, and as a result, he's awfully compromised, and he murdered a sponsor board there. Poor sponsor board. Rest in peace, sponsor board. I think it might have been a DHL one. I'm not sure. Hey, look, we got that stupid camera. That's on this track, really? I didn't know that stupid camera was on this track. Half a second separating the top two. I think Barmer has run out of time to try and take the lead back. He's awfully wide there at 13. But I think Andy's got it. Gap is 3/10 heading into the final turn. Barmer's going to try last minute to do something. It's not enough. Andy Wu will take the checkered flag and win race 2 of pre-season testing. Barmer will take second place. Mitch Burns will complete the podium in third. Gets Petr fourth, followed by No Cap, KD, JD, and Elite Game Boy and Dream. Who will finish in front out of these two? It looks like it will be Game Boy on track and with penalties applied. That 14 started, 9 finished. Bit of a chaotic race here at Bahrain. And Barmer given driver of the day for his performance. We'll take a closer look at that in the final result screen. But for now, it's podium celebrations. Andy Wu taking the checkered flag, claiming the win. Nice little confidence booster heading into the actual season itself. Mind if they added a different song for the podium celebrations, would be pretty neat. But I like that one, it's a cool instrumental song. And here we are, the results here in Bahrain. Andy Wu taking the win by 0.8 of a second to Barmer. Desperately tried to take the lead back, but he just ran out of time to try and take it back. So he'll have to settle for second and driver of the day. Mitch Burns, P3, a solid effort from him. A nice confidence booster heading into the actual season. Ketan Petr, P4, so 2 decent results there for Petr. He should be pretty happy with that. No Cap with fastest lap finishes P5, followed by KD, JD, Elite Game Boy, and our final finisher, Dream. Cameron's classified. He retired with a few laps to go, but he's classified in 10th place. Our other retirements, Electric Blade, Express, Nicholas Latifi and Berzi in rather spectacular form right at the start of the race. Really set the tone for what we were about to see here at the end of pre-season testing. What, are we staying on this screen, are we? Alright. Well, there's the other timer. Well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap everything up here for pre-season testing. We can finally end the stream. Hopefully everyone watching has enjoyed the broadcast of this little taster of the season to come. But until next time, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you same time, same track next week for the opening round of the AM1 Championship at Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Welcome back, everyone, to Contest of Speed. Goodbye.